counts as understated, quiet. We don't hear him. He never is quoted. And they're both, McVay and Snead, are going after him publicly. I get Carson Wentz. Yeah. We hear he's not coachable. I get Aaron. He can be dismissive and condescending. What do you read into this? Suddenly Jared Goff at the moment is our quarterback. It's something, isn't it?
Of course. And I think that Les Snead's done a very good job there. But I think he made one grievous error, and it's the same error that his contemporary in Philadelphia made with the quarterback taking one pick after Jared Goff, which is they paid him too early. There is no rule that says you have to pay your quarterback after year 3. But Goff and Wentz both got paid because they had shown flashes. To Goff's credit, he had been to a Super Bowl, so it's like, oh, hey. But that Super Bowl was more about what Sean McVay did, what Offensive Player of the Year Todd Gurley did. And as that team has gotten worse and as they've had to move on from some of those guys, I think Goff is shown to be very limited. And I think they understand what is standing between the Rams and consistently competing for championships is they either need elite quarterback play or they need more money to get playmakers. And right now, they're getting mediocre at best quarterback play from a quarterback that is very, very expensive. So, yeah, I don't think McVay or Snead are in love with Goff, and I think that contract is something they regret.
Brady Belichick, I'm not saying it is for sure, but 8 years without Brady, Belichick's got 6 losing seasons and a 7th with no playoffs. Justin Timberlake left in sync and immediately flourished. In sync is irrelevant. Is Bill Belichick Lance Bass in a hoodie?
Well, listen, I'm not an in-sync historian, but I was listening to the opening monologue. And I don't know if you did this on your own or if the ever-valuable and indispensable Joy Taylor got in your ear during the break. I'm glad you are now focusing on the in-sync thing and you've left Destiny's Child aside because Kelly Rowland would tell you, I've been a superstar for a decade and Michelle has done great things in the gospel industry while Beyonce's gone on to, obviously, the greatest living American, Beyonce Knowles Carter. But that's not the point. I do think this. I do think that Bill Belichick all of a sudden needs to make another Super Bowl. I can't believe I'm saying that. I do think he's the best coach of all time, but when they broke up, I think the expectation was, well, fair or not, Belichick is going to look better a decade from now because Brady, it's not like he's going to win another championship. It's not like he's going to make another Super Bowl, and Belichick's going to have another 10 years to coach if he wants it. But now, Brady immediately did make a Super Bowl. I don't think he'll win it, but obviously it's possible. And Belichick's team was not good. And all those things, we know all the rules, we know all we coach our guys not to dive for the pylon, and we're never penalized. And what we saw is that's great. That gets you about 6 wins if your quarterback doesn't play well. So I don't think Belichick's legacy is like shaky, but I do think Brady thriving at this level has made it to where that at the very least he needs to make a couple more conference championship games, or there will always be the, yeah, but without Tom, what did we see him do?
I think it's fair. So Aaron Rodgers, star quarterback's words are powerful. A little bit of a light the fuse, and everybody try to put it out before it blows up now, where everybody's backtracking. And I said about 30 minutes ago, or 15 minutes ago, I said, listen, Eli Manning, Tom Brady and Russell Wilson are so boring. But they have a sounding board to go home to if they're frustrated. You and your wife, me and my wife. I can go to my sister. I can go. Aaron's single, got no kids, not particularly from what I read close with his family. He's a superstar in a tiny, tiny town. I doubt he has a magnificent social circle in Green Bay. And I think to myself, well, maybe the sounding board is the media. Like, where's he going to go? Like, if I'm frustrated, it's not healthy to bottle it up. If I didn't have my wife, Joy Taylor would be literally like running from me down the halls as Joy, I'm upset with this. Don't we have an argument to be made is, Aaron, it's healthier for Aaron to tell everybody what he feels. He didn't have a sounding board at home.
I think that is a very interesting point, and I'm not even necessarily disagreeing with it, But I think in this specific instance, it might be a little more simple than that because what we did, Aaron goes on with McAfee every week, and they seem to have a great relationship, be legitimate friends, and so you would think he would use that maybe as his media sounding board. You know how much I like Aaron and how much I've defended Aaron. But I think this was a little more calculated than I'm just, you know, doing improv here. Because he mentioned Aaron Jones, who is an unrestricted free agent after this year. Lindsley, who's a free agent now. And Mercedes Lewis, who are all free agents. And, like, listen, we don't know any of our futures. But Aaron's obviously not a free agent. In fact, he's got 3 years left on his deal. I think this was Aaron signaling, I want a new contract. Not because he wants more money, but because he wants to be tied to the team longer than just this next year. Because under his current deal, after this year, the upcoming year, the 21 season, they could move on from him, and they have shown that they are considering it by drafting Jordan Love. So I think Aaron was signaling intentionally, guys, I'm about to win league MVP. We could have gone to the Super Bowl. And he mentioned with McAfee, yeah, and he said it before, everyone wants to be Dirk. Everyone wants to be Kobe. Everyone wants to have one career with one team. I think he's trying to press a point of leverage a bit, Colin, to try to see if Green Bay will redo or restructure his deal to where it is very painful for them if they want to move off of him, because I don't think he wants to go anywhere.
So I see all these questions I could ask you. I want to go off the script here because we were talking.
No.
We were talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We were talking off the air, and I thought this was interesting. So you were the first person in the American media that I remember about 6, 7 years ago that said, LeBron's actually better than Michael. And though you got a ton of pushback early, it is becoming harder and harder to not at least discuss it. You said something during the break to be about Mahomes and Brady. I think it's worthy of public dissemination. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I'll do this quickly because then there is something I need to say to you. Right. If Mahomes wins a week from Sunday, if he loses, it's 7-1 Brady, and that's a very, very hard mountain to climb. But if he wins a week from Sunday, are we potentially just 1 year away from being able to make the argument Patrick Mahomes is already the GOAT? Not that he will be, but that he already is. If he wins a week from Sunday and then they win again next year, would be the first guy, first team, first player, first anything in the NFL to win 3 in a row. He would have one career playoff loss, and it would have come in overtime when he didn't get to touch the ball. All these unbelievable records, eye test, and he would have gone through Tom for a Super Bowl. I do think that if he wins a week from Sunday, not only could the GOAT discussion really open up, but it could be one that he could be trailing Tom, but far closer than Brady fans would like to admit just 54 weeks from now. But, Colin, you did have a long list of questions. You could ask me anything here, all these things. And instead, you went off the board. And I will not abide. For 4 months, I had to listen to quarterback face bracket. I'm taking Josh Allen. The Bills are at the top of herd hierarchy. The Bills Mafia, this, that. I got sprayed in the face, literally and figuratively, with ketchup and mustard because of your love for the Bills. Yeah. And then my team trounces them, embarrasses them, de-pantses them for 3.5 hours on national television. And you're not going to ask me about it? We're not going to have that talk? There's nothing? We're going to pretend it didn't happen? We're just going to move on?
Okay, were the Bills pretenders?
Well, I mean, halfway. They were little pretenders. They were a little pretend, a little make-believe, a little realism. Like when you tell your kid a bedtime story. It's like part of this is real, but part of this is fake. But more importantly, I'm not trying here to crush the Bills and their little small-time crime syndicate. I'm not here for that. They got 3.5 hours of that on Sunday. I'm here to demand Colin Cowherd say, I'm sorry for even entertaining the idea that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes live in the same zip code, much less down the block from each other. I want an apology. That's what I want on your show.
Well, you come on every Wednesday. Let me consider it, and then I get a week to bake on that. I'll tell you, December, it was Josh Allen was very good in December. He had a very good month. It's very incredible.
Mahomes was resting because they had clinched the 1 seed. I'll talk to you next week. See you, buddy.
Nick Wright, first things first. That's funny.